If your magic only works when you're spending money, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that means that you have a dependence on consumerism and not that you trust yourself that you are the only magic that you need.
Welcome to the Love Siren Podcast, your weekly dose of enchantment for the modern romantic. I'm Dahlia, your queer, poly, feminist witch, guiding you into your most magnetic, irresistible siren self. If you're craving ocean-deep love, delicious confidence, and results that last, you've just unlocked the right portal. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get into it.
I will be the first to admit, I love when my spells are pretty. I love being able to add tons of crystals, tons of herbs, lots of decorations. I also love supporting my local witchy stores, especially here in Vegas. Shout out to Crystal Cartel and Blaspheme Boutique, who do a ton of free events in their stores. And I feel like that should be both celebrated and encouraged. But I'm a professional witch. Of course, I'm going to have all this stuff. And I don't think that you need all of this stuff. I think that there is a really big misconception that you have to spend a lot of money. You have to have all of these tools. And it's just simply not true. I remember reading this book, and one of the spells was crazy. It was like asking for the feather of a male pigeon and 4 quail eggs, just things that just never felt particularly attainable. This episode is going to be completely free things that you can do or that I think you already have at home. Very similar to those recipes that are like, this is a $5 meal, assuming that you have oil, salt, and pepper and garlic at your home. So I'm going to be assuming that you have some basic things like pens and paper lying around in your home. But of course, honestly, even if you don't, I'm going to give you completely free options. So first and foremost, your body is your first altar. And you might be immediately being like, well, but Dahlia, I don't want to buy new stuff. I'm not asking you to. Maybe you go into your closet and you find a black garment and you're like, I want to call in protection today. Or maybe you have a pop of orange that you can use to inspire creativity. You want to start looking at what's already in your closet and assign meaning to each of those garments. I really encourage you to utilize color magic and start figuring out, what does red mean to me? You can always look it up online later if you want to, but I personally find it to be way more potent to be like, red equals this to me. And then you can kind of cross-reference with what the universal meanings are. Also, if you have jewelry, you can absolutely assign a meaning to that as well. Like if you have a wedding band, something that you wear every single day, you can use that for commitment. You can use that for protection. You can use it for love, obviously. And maybe you include a bit of self-love in there beyond just love. I really love using my hair ties also because I pretty much constantly have a hair tie either around my wrist or around my hair. I like to think of this as that I'm never going to drop any balls, right? I'm always going to keep my loose ends tied. You also have all of this electricity inside of you. It's something that has always kept me more on the agnostic side rather than on the fully atheist side, where it's like, it doesn't really make sense that we're existing and that we're all so massively different from each other. And that electricity that we have with one another and that we have with ourselves is so, I don't know, it's so juicy, right? So one of the best ways you can utilize this is by rubbing your hands really quickly together and slowly pulling them away, and you'll feel that electricity building in your system. If you are watching this on YouTube, I will do a quick little demonstration. And there's tons of things that you can do with this electricity bubble that you just made. But one of my favorite things to do is just to wrap it around myself as a bubble of protection. I'm going to be doing a different podcast episode about how I infuse magic in my daily life, but chores are one of the greatest things you can do. Like every time you take out the trash, that is now a releasing spell. You are going to release something that you no longer want to have with you anymore. And every time you put the dishes away, guess what? That's now an organization spell where you are creating order out of the chaos in your life. I, of course, here at Love Siren Witchery, love to use water magic. And so, one of the best things you can do is when you're in the shower, have that be a cleansing spell. Just imagine all of those negative thoughts, that negative energy just going down the drain. Especially, I love doing this when I'm like washing my feet. I find that that's especially where I keep a lot of that negative energy. Also, washing my hair because I tend to, I don't wash my hair very often. We're not going to talk about it. But I can really feel that buildup, not just grime, but also those thoughts, like overthinking thoughts, that anxiety, things that are kind of holding me back. And when I have clean hair, it just makes such a massive difference beyond just the mundane. And then after you're all nice and clean, then you get to exit the shower and enter into a brand new timeline. So as I'm exiting the shower, I am moving into this new abundant version of myself. Or as I exit the shower, I am cool, calm, collected for the rest of the day. Whatever feels good for you in that moment. Crying is also water magic, and this is a releasing ritual. I love crying very dramatically in front of my altar. I often feel like the Little Mermaid right after her dad destroys Prince Eric's statue. And I just complain wholeheartedly to my deities, especially if it is men who are hurting me, such as powers that be in the government. I feel like my deities hate seeing me cry, and so they try to help me, and that makes me feel better. I unfortunately have a lot of toxic masculinity, and I don't cry very often. And every time I do, I'm like, oh, this is special. So I really make sure to like capitalize on it, and I really make sure to like enjoy it. I talk about everything that's going wrong. I kind of do like almost like a verbal diarrhea journal entry that's just like very whiny, very pathetic. And it works, right? Because we are releasing all of these things. I'm not focusing on the positive. I'm not kind of tapping into that toxic positivity world. I'm using all of this negativity as a momentum, as a propeller to kind of help push me forward into a reality that I am not experiencing these negative feelings. And it's not to say that I will never experience negative feelings ever again, but it's more like the negative feelings that I feel now, I feel like my previous self could have only dreamed of. Like the fact that I am a full-time witch is like absolutely incredible. I love doing this. And of course, it's a little scary. Like, it's a little scary being in charge of myself. But I am okay with that because I would absolutely take these sets of problems than the ones that I had before. One of my absolute favorite, easiest things you can do is to write an affirmation and have that be almost like a coaster on your water, and then drink the water while it's like infused with that manifestation. And if you do not have pen and paper, you can just speak it into the water directly. You can just think it if you're like in a more of a public setting, whatever makes you feel most comfortable. Big bonus if you do this on the new moon to plant new intentions, or if you do it on the full moon to celebrate your intentions or release something that is no longer serving you. Moving on to bed magic, I'm starting off with my toothbrush meditations. They're only 2-ish minutes long, and they're totally free, and they're designed to be done while you're brushing your teeth so that way you can kind of habit stack them. And it's split up into morning rituals and evening rituals. Of course, you can absolutely do whatever feels good to you. So for example, maybe you want to call in abundance in the morning, and then you want to do a cord cutting ritual in the evening. Those will, of course, be linked in the description. But being in your bed is a great time to meditate in general. It's also a great time to visualize. So as you're waking up in the morning, you can put in your intention. Again, if you're calling in abundance, maybe you're like, okay, I'm wiring myself for abundance. Show me what overflow looks like. Show me what abundance looks like. and start thinking about what would it feel like for you today. If you found some random money on the ground, would you pick it up? Could you leave some money on the ground to kind of signal to the universe that you have enough to share and you want to pass on that luck to other people? You can also set intentions for your dreams. I love learning in my sleep, so I will ask my guides, hey, can you help teach me tarot in my sleep? Or can you show me what I might be missing? Or can you show me who might be giving me the evil eye? Like things like that. You can really call upon your dreams. But the key to this is that you cannot immediately flood your system by looking at your phone the first thing in the morning. You have to give it some time. If you are able to, I highly recommend putting your phone in a different part of your house so that way you don't have to worry about it. I am really lucky. I have a bathroom attached to my bedroom. And so sometimes if I need my phone to still charge overnight or I need an alarm, I'll put the phone in the bathroom so that way I don't have to immediately wake up and see it. Your bed is also just a great place to meditate. This is a great time to just kind of flush the day away. You can think about everything that happened and then just kind of like let it go. Just focus on your breathing. And then moving on to the kitchen, we have tons of witchcraft that we can do here. I love stirring intentions into my coffee or soup or anything that requires a liquid motion. The typical rule of thumb is clockwise is calling something in and counterclockwise is releasing something. Are you adding salt to your food? Great, you're adding protection also. Are you having Cinnamon Toast Crunch for breakfast? Awesome, you're eating some abundance. And again, you can always add that intention to whatever you're about to eat. I really love using this for health, especially when I'm eating something that is very varied in vegetables and lots of different colors. I find that kind of signals to my brain that this is a really healthy meal, and I want to capitalize on that with my mindset as well. So I might say to myself, eating this food nourishes every cell in my body. You know, for some people, their secret ingredient is love. For me, it's mindset tricks. Okay, and now we're moving on to movement magic and my absolute favorite one, dance. Dance has been proven to be better for depression than even antidepressants and like astronomically better. It's so good for you. Even if you're terrible at dancing, just do it. It's so good for your nervous system. It's so good for your body. It's so good for your soul. All of these things. Whenever I'm about to do my monthly finances, I always have a little dance party before I dive into the numbers. I find that it just puts me in a much better mindset and a much better mood for something that might be a little bit stressful for me. And then when I'm done, I do the same thing. I will close out my money ritual with dance. If you're a person who struggles with just sitting down and doing meditation, I highly recommend doing a walking meditation instead. So what that looks like is you just go for a walk. Don't bring your phone. Don't bring any headphones. Just enjoy your thoughts, enjoy nature, observe what's around you. And just see what comes up, because you never know. Once you are able to kind of give yourself that space, all of a sudden your brain is kind of like, oh my God, finally I can do all of these crazy thoughts that have been haunting me. It feels kind of similar to when you're so busy and then you finally have a vacation and then you get sick. Your body is kind of like, okay, I've been storing up all these germs. Now we can finally stop. Let me just expel all of this. I teach about magnetic aura in my Art of Lovemancy course, which I swear to God is coming out. I think it's probably going to be this summer. I think it's going to be a birthday present to myself to finally launch this class. But I love being able to control my aura. I love being able to have that be the first thing that people notice about me. I might have already used this example, but I'm sure you know the feeling of like going to a party and somebody had an argument that you didn't hear, you didn't know anything about it. They just came in the room and they're like seething and nothing is totally wrong, but you're really picking up on their aura. And so we have the ability to really control that aura a lot more than we think we do. One of the best ways that you can do this, again, completely for free, is just go out in the sun, breathe in that solar energy, breathe in that vitality, and then exhale through your mouth and imagine it starting to fill up your auric field. But your words also have so much power. You can use your words as wards. I have had to redo this sentence a couple of times because it's a little bit of a tongue twister for me. Your words as wards. So, for example, one thing that you might say as you're leaving the house is, what is not meant for me, cannot reach me, cannot touch me, cannot stay. I'm a little hesitant to put this on the podcast, but I do have what I like to call a Moldavite spell. If you don't know Moldavite, it is a stone that is known to cause chaos. It is known to help you release anything that does not serve you. And I really do not recommend this spell if you're not ready. I did this, and I think not even a week after I did it, my long distance partner and I broke up, and I was not ready. But if you're at rock bottom, this is an incredible spell. Okay, I did my warnings. You can just listen. You can have it in your back pocket whenever you're ready. Spirit guides of the highest love and compassion, truth and light, I give you permission to help me in my life. Help me release blocks or limitations that are holding me back. Help me be on the right path so I can always be ahead in my life, my journey, and always reach my full potential. Help me become the person who can receive all my desires. Help me see how lucky I am every single day and be aware of the beauty all around me. Wrap me in your divine light and keep me safe and protected. Have me feeling my own emotions and help me alchemize any energy for my benefit that comes around me. With deep gratitude, thank you. And I'll usually say thank you 3-4 times, whatever feels good. And you might have listened to that spell and been like, oh, I know exactly why Dahlia had so many disclaimers before saying it. Because you might know what is not in alignment for you, and it can be a little painful. Like if you have a job that you hate and you know isn't good for you, this might make you lose it. Which maybe that's for your best benefit, but it's also obviously incredibly stressful. I really hope that this episode was good for you. I really hope that it helped inspire you. And especially if you feel pressure, like when you see something online and you're like, oh my God, I need to have that exact crystal. Obviously, go and support your local witch shop. We love that. But you don't need it. You don't. And that's beautiful. Lastly, I just wanted to discuss divination. So I think when we think about divination, we think it has to be tarot. And not just that, but I need like 20 different decks, one for every deity, one for every mood. And that's simply not true. You can do divination with a coin, just doing a simple yes/no question. You can do your keys and have that act as a pendulum. Also, a necklace works just as well. But if you are looking for something that is beyond just a simple yes or no answer, I really recommend using a deck of cards. It's not going to have the major arcana, but it will have the minor arcana as well as the court cards for you. So hearts are cups, spades are swords, diamonds are pentacles, and clubs are wands. And then, of course, the jack is going to be the page. Queen and king will be the same. And then all of the number cards are going to be the same. So ace will be number 1 all the way up until 10. So you can pull a card, and then if you need to cross-reference it with the internet knows all. I'm so curious on what witchcraft you do that I might have missed, and I'm also so curious if I inspired you in any of your practices. I would love to hear from you. My DMs are always open, and thank you as always for being here with me, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next episode.